independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. So let's just see if I can see anybody on the chat. Oh yes, we have some people here already. Hello Anne, lovely to see you this afternoon. Louise, thanks for coming along, Louise, because you know what I'm going to make. Jackie, lovely to see you, and nice that you've managed to make it live here in the UK. So let's just see if I can see anybody on the chat. Right, sorry about that. I had my volume turned up, so I've turned it down. Right, yes, I'm glad you made it live, Jackie. So today's project is courtesy of the lovely Louise Hawley. A week or so ago, we had one of our Ready Steady Stamp. I'm losing my words today. I can't think what I'm talking about. A Ready Steady Stamp event, which Louise led, and she showed us how to make this card. So it's a really, really lovely card, and you know, I love this. However, as everybody knows, I do prefer to make A5 cards. So I have used all the techniques, etc., and made it bigger. So I've made it into an A5 card. So it you know, it wasn't really difficult. It just meant rejigging all the measurements and working out how I was actually going to make the card base. All right, because to make, as this is kind of a landscape orientation, if we look at it that way, to make a landscape card with this extra bit, you would need to use A3 cardstock, which Stampin' Up doesn't actually do. So I'm going to do it by joining two pieces together, okay, to show you. So we've got some more people coming along. We've got Caroline. Hello, Caroline. Nice to see you. And Deborah. Deborah's from North Carolina, and it's 9:30 in the morning. Thank you very much for coming along, everybody. It really is nice that you've made the effort. So I'm going to get started then. So we're making an A5 version of this card. So to start with, I have my pieces to make my card base, and they are this one and this one. So the first one measures 8 inches by 5 3/4, and the second piece measures 7 inches by 5 3/4. Hi Claire, thanks for coming along. So what I'm going to do is just open up my bottom of my trimmer. I'm ever so sorry, ladies, but I just can't think of my words today. And I'm going to measure or even score at 1 inch. And I'm going to turn it round and score at 3 inches. Okay, so what we've got now is a 1 inch mark here, and these two will be 3 inches each. Okay, so I'm just going to take that away, and then using my bone folder, I'm going to fold and burnish these lines. The cardstock is Blackberry Bliss. That's all right, Caroline, I hadn't already said that, and I thank you for asking the question because I had forgotten to mention that. So I usually fold and burnish all my cardstock, fold so that the bump, as one of my class calls it, she says you fold the bump in, and that helps you to fold your card nicely without it cracking. But we will need to fold this one back again, okay? So it kind of looks like that. So Cheeky Monkey is Claire, Caroline, okay? Right, so this is how I'm making my card base. So this is the front bit that goes over, and that's the back. So if you want to, you can stick this so that your join is on the back of the card, like so. Or you can do it so that the join is on the inside. I actually prefer to do it so that it's on the inside because you can see more of the card at the back. And I'm going to put some designer series paper over this, so you won't really notice it. People will be looking at the middle part. So I put some glue on this part here. Hi Kay, thanks for coming along. So when you've got something like this that's got a good right angle, somewhere you can press against, you can just pop this in there and it should line up really well. So I just lift it up and make sure that I get that butted up really nicely across that edge there. And then I take my bone folder and just put that pressure on. Got a little bit of glue on my bone folder, which I hadn't anticipated. But this glue, it dries and you can just rub it off so that you can't see it. Okay, so that's the base card made. So I'm going to cover up that back piece with some designer series paper. Now, this is brilliant paper because not only does it have some really pretty designs, it's also free. Yeah. In our Celebration catalogue, this 12 by 12 designer series paper, which is called Dainty Flowers, is absolutely free with a £45 spend from any of our catalogues, any of our current catalogues. And it has, that's what it says here. I think it's 12 designs. Yeah, let me just show you quickly. You get 2 of each. So, and the flip side on some of these is gorgeous. Look at that. That is so beautiful. And then that's another design, and the green is on the back of that. I almost used that one today, but I decided to go with the pink. I thought if Hillary's watching, she'll appreciate the pink. These are quite nice. You can actually cut these out and use them as a topper on a card. And the reverse of that's got that nice sort of watercolour with the splats. This is a very nice one too. I did think about this. Well, Caroline's got the paper and she says it's much nicer on that screen. Hello Cheryl, thanks for coming along. Happy New Year. And that's the flip side of that one. This one's another very pretty one, look. And I love that that side as well. I do like the blue. That's nice. And then that one. So this is the one that I've used today. Okay, so let's pop those aside. So some really pretty free papers. Oops, we don't want that. So I'm going to stick this down. Now, I'm popping that on, and so I've covered most of that join. I know you can see those 2 little bits, but quite honestly, by the time you've got this and the card stood up on somebody's mantelpiece, they're not going to notice the backing. They're not going to notice that at all. So I'm taking my glue again. I'm just giving a nice coating across the back of this piece of DSP. It's lovely to see you all this afternoon. I did wonder whether people might be busy getting ready for parties tonight. So I do appreciate you making the time to come and see me. Come and watch and comment. And it's always nice to be able to chat to each other, isn't it? Claire's been playing with this paper for her next class. Good. Yeah, the colours are more vibrant than they look in the catalogue. Now, when you stick 2 pieces of card together to make a base, every now and then it doesn't quite, you know, you whether you've cut it wrong or the paper's not just like a bit off square to start with. sometimes it just leaves a little bit of an edge, but that's all right, because you can just run, if you get large scissors, just run the edge of your scissors down the cardstock and you can just cut that bit off that hangs over. And then the back, which is going to be seen, you can't, there's no join. Okay, now to make that bit that stands up in the middle, we need some more pieces of cardstock, and these are here. So I need to bring in my trimmer again, which I've put down and I can't see it. I put the papers over it. I always use my trimmer upside down because it means that I can see very clearly the measurements across the bottom. So for the first one, I'm going to score at sorry, I didn't tell you the measurement. This is 4¼ inches by 7¼ and I'm scoring at 2¼ 4½, and 6¾ I'm going to do all the scoring in one go. For the second one, the card measures 3¼ by 5¾ and this one I'm scoring at 1½ 3¾ I'm having to look at my crib sheet because I worked this out yesterday and I can't remember it exactly, so I'm having to quickly look over my shoulder at my measurements, and 5¼ and then the last, the tiny one, measures 2¼ by 4¾ and this is going to be 1 inch by 3¼ and 4¼ So let's fold and burnish all our lines. So as I said at the beginning, I always fold into that bump like this, and that ensures that you don't get any cracking. So whatever cardstock you're using, thick, thin, in between, I guarantee you won't get any cracking if you do it this way. Now, because these are going to be folding and moving a lot, it's a good idea to fold them back again to make sure that they fold both ways. Okay, so I want it to finish up looking like that, like a sort of unfinished box. So I'm going to do them all like that. So folding them all this way to start with. Sorry, I'm missing the comments here. So everybody's wishing everybody a happy new year. That's lovely to see. And let's see. Claire's making sausage rolls. Oh, we love sausage rolls. Yep, that's a lovely one. I haven't had one for a long time, but they are gorgeous. And Caroline says, well, this card needs more than one sheet. Yeah, it will, Caroline. You can make the front, the actual card base itself, you can make from one sheet of cardstock. But these parts, you'd have to start another one. So to make the 8 to make the base. Oh gosh, I can't put it into words. So let me just quickly show you with a new piece of cardstock what I mean. So I took a piece of Blackberry Bliss and I put it in my trimmer and cut it at 5 3/4. Then I cut it to 8. Then I cut this piece to 5 3/4 and I cut it to 7. So the back of the card and the front of the card came out of one sheet. Okay. And then obviously I needed another piece for these pieces. I hope I've explained that properly. Now, before I stick this down, I'm going to put the designer series paper on it because it's easier to stick it on while it's flat. Now I've chosen the same design, but I'm actually going to be using this side of it. So that's the side I used on the back of the card. Just having a look. Oh, Deborah says she makes sausage balls. I wonder if they're similar to sausage rolls. Oh, Claire puts sausage meat, mushrooms, spring onion and onion. Wow. Yes, they are similar then, Caroline. Luxury sausage rolls, says Anne. Yeah, they are. Okay, so Caroline says, thanks, Ellie. Was the base cars as it looks big? Yeah, it's an A5 card. So it's 8 by 5 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to pop the designer series paper on, and this does have the right way. It is directional, so make sure if you're using... Oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'm using the other side. Whew. Oh, let me just turn my phone onto silent so we don't get any more interruptions. So I'm using this side on here, which I think is beautiful. And this, I took the Blackberry Bliss from this flower to use for my to use for my card base. I can't find my tweezers. They've disappeared, so I'm gonna have to use these, which I don't find very easy. Everyone's hungry now because Claire's making sausage rolls and we can't share them. Okay, so that's one down. I must admit, I don't add all that when I make sausage rolls. It you know, very rarely, but when I do, it's sausage meat, puff pastry, and I do put a few herbs in, but I don't put all the extras, the mushrooms and everything. Oh, I do add some English mustard. That does make a difference. I spread it on the puff pastry before I roll it up. So the designer series paper is, I haven't written it down, but it's a quarter of an inch smaller than that measurement there. So let me just measure it for you, because if you do want to make this, so it's 2 by 4, always 2, they're all the same width. 2 by 3, and is this 2 by 2? Yeah, that was easy, wasn't it? Now, this is the bit that is crucial that you get it right. So I found my best way was to lie my cardstock down onto the base of my card flat, the picture side up, and make sure that it's pushed right into the crease there, and you've got the same amount either side, and you put glue all the way over that bit. and then close that down. Caroline says, as a new demo this May, where do I find exact date so I know my quarter sales I only spend as a hobbyist? Oh, it's really easy. It's January to March, April to July, August to September, and October to December. It is the, you know, the quarters of the year. So that gives you your first piece, okay? Now we want to stick that down so that this is square on here, and the best way to do that is to lie your card down this way, put your glue onto this little tab, and close that card over. Make sure you give it enough time to dry. Thanks, Deborah. She says she likes the choice of designer series paper. Yeah, the quarters will always stay the same. Despite when you join, the quarters stay the same. If you joined in May, the quarter ends at the end of June. And the next quarter is July, August, September. Yeah, so today is the last quarter of this year, and then the next one is January, February and March. Okay, so we've done the first one, and the second one is the next size down, and again I place it on my cardstock, making sure that I've got the same amount either side, and I'm going to glue all over this piece. Like so. So has anybody done anything exciting this morning? If you're in the afternoon now, or is anyone planning anything exciting for the rest of the day? So again, I'm going to move this over here, put the glue on my 1/2 inch wide tab there, and then I'm going to fold this. Sorry, I did that wrong. And then I'm going to fold it like so. And then it lifts up. As you open it, it lifts up. I'm just going to leave it here a minute. Yes, that's what you do. Yeah, purchase 1st of January and then it'll be in your next quarter. That's absolutely right. Okay, so now I'm going to do the last one in exactly the same way. Pop that down so it's equal distance, like so. Glue on. And this card's so versatile. Louise showed us 1/2 dozen that she had made with all different designs. It was so really lovely. Cheryl said the most exciting thing she did today was wake up. Well, there you go. Oh, Anne's been cleaning, yeah, and crafting. Oh, Caroline's been feeling sick. I'm glad it's passed. It must be our influence on you. Okay, so that comes up like that one. Then pop this on. And then if we let it fold down automatically and tuck that under, that will go under. There we go. Caroline says, wow, it does look big on screen. This is a normal size card to me, an A5 card. This is what, where are you? Where are you, Caroline? Are you in UK? Are you, whereabouts are you? So I know a lot of Americans send this size card, which is the one that Louise made, because of your postage, so I understand that. But here in Britain it costs the same to post this size as it does that, so this is the kind of size cards most of us favour. I know some people still go with the smaller card because that's what Stampin' Up do, but you're in Scotland, Caroline. Yeah, so it is, it's, you know, it's a normal size card. It's half a piece of A4, that's all. So I'm going to put this side on again, so this will match that one. But both sides of this card are really nice, of this cardstock. Even DSP. I can't seem to get my words right today. I'm going to put this flat to stick it down because it'll behave better if you keep your cardstock flat. So Louise, I hope I've done this justice. It's your design, so I hope it's okay. I actually hadn't thought of doing a video. I just thought of when I make the card I would do it in an A5, and then it was Louise that said, oh, I can see a video coming up, so I thought, well, I might as well do one then. Don't want to disappoint you. So Caroline said, oh, I thought it need large stamp. No, no. This won't need an, if you made it wider, it would need a large stamp. So in the UK, we've got this guide, all right? This slot here, if your card goes through that slot, you pay a normal letter. If it won't go through there, this is the next one. This is a large letter, all right? So as long as it's not much wider than that, the length is okay. Any length will be fine, all right? But it's the thickness as well. So I could still put something on the top and it would be fine. All right, just to make that clear. That's only Britain, mind. Well, England. Now, I'm going to decorate this slightly differently to what we've done before, or what we did on our previous ones. Certainly different to what I did on my previous one. I'm going to start again by having this out flat. And I'm going to bring in my piercing mat, which I've covered in some paper to keep it clean. And I'm going to stamp on this panel. I've got Happy Birthday, which has come from The Biggest Wish. It's this Happy Birthday here. I'm just looking at the, Caroline says she makes 6 by 4. Right, okay. Oh, you want to know where you buy this gauge? I got it in Amazon. I tried to get it from the post office, Anne, and they said they didn't have any. They didn't have any for sale. So but I got it off Amazon for, oh, I think it's only a couple of pounds, if that. So I'm using the matching ink, Rich Raspberry, and that happy birthday stamp. And it stamps beautifully crisp. And I know this is the wrong colours for these things, but I just wanted to keep the colour theme all in with. Actually, I could go, I'm going to change it. I'm going to use the Old Olive. That's what that is. I did get it out and I'd forgotten. So, did I say it was Blackberry Bliss, this cardstock, earlier? It's not. It's Rich Raspberry. So I'm using the stamp set, Grassy Grove now. And I'm going to use this here and these trees. So I'm coming in with this sort of, I suppose you'd call it undergrowth. Anne says she got hers then from a good few years ago. Yeah, they've gone mean now, the post office. Oh yeah, a larger post office might do. Yeah, I only, ever pop to the one round the corner. I don't do that very often, to be honest. So if I just stamp that in the bottom, it just gives that little bit of undergrowth. And then I'm using the trees here, just so that they're not suspended in midair. They're growing in the undergrowth. And I might just do a second stamp there just to thicken it up a bit, like that, a little bit of secondary stamping. So that gives us a nice front panel to our card. And then for the centre, now this took me a little while to find something for the centre, but so I've taken this beautiful die and cut it from the Rich Raspberry cardstock, and it comes out like this. And I've also taken that beautiful delicate deer die, and out comes this little beauty. Isn't that lovely? That's going to be my focal point. So it goes in like so, and our deer can be on the centre there. So you can only adhere this around these edges, but I think if I put plenty of glue on, it'll be fine. What I am going to do is just somehow make myself a mark. I hadn't got this far when I'd been playing around. I was just playing around with the measurements of the card base and the mechanism, but I think if I do that and turn it over, oh, I'm all fingers and thumbs. This is actually not very easy, ladies. So what I've done is I've just put 2 pencil marks there and there, and I know I can't put glue any further over. It's probably a much more straightforward way of doing that, but so it's easier just to put little dots of glue around rather than try and make actual thin lines. So just dot it wherever I can. And I realise I've gone over the line there, so I'm just going to get that bit off with my finger. And then I pop that on. Like so. Caroline, that is so nice. Thank you. Well, I felt like that when Louise showed us how to make the original one. And especially when she showed us all the samples she'd made, they were just fantastic. Right, the deer's gone missing. He's gone for a little canter around the forest. But I found him. I think he's so sweet, this deer. Look. So, oops. Hi, Jan. Oh, how lovely to see you. Happy New Year to you. Right, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of my hand so that I can put his legs over that and put the rest of them just to make sure I get glue on it, on all of it. And then we're going to pop him in the middle there like that so we can see him. So on your mantelpiece it would look like this, and then the profile looks like that. So I hope you like that, and as I say, Louise, I hope it does you justice, your original design. So I'll just bring the smaller one back in again. So this is what Louise made. This will actually give you an idea of the difference in size as well. Well, this isn't what Louise made, but this is the measurements that she used and passed on to us. I'm glad you like it, Louise, because it's always, you know, when you use somebody else's design, you always feel a bit, oh, is it okay? Caroline says folks are ever so clever. No, it's just a case of if you want to do something badly enough, you do. Hilary, hi, I didn't see you. Come on, it's lovely to see you. Hope you're feeling a bit more rested today. So Hills has had a bit of a medical problem and she's had to spend some time in hospital, but she came home yesterday and we were really pleased that she got home, sleep in her own bed. Okay, so Deborah says it's beautiful. Anne says beautiful. Thank you very much, ladies. So that's the difference in size. Exactly the same design. I mean, you could make it even bigger. If you wanted to make an 8x8 card, you could do this even bigger. So Kay says, does the die cut piece stay within the length of the card? It's over a little bit, Kay. Now, the only reason I had it at this length is because I wanted to see the deer. But if you wanted to use this and put something else there that you didn't have to see through, you could just push this further along. But if I move this along, you won't be able to see the deer. And that's what I really wanted to do. So what I might do is put this in a larger envelope so that it can fit okay. Actually, I haven't done that very straight, have I? That's not... see if I can... No, I can't put it off without ripping it. But yeah, I could... Let me just have a quick look at my C5 envelope. They're always a little bit bigger anyway, aren't they? Actually, I think it will go in. Yeah, it goes into the envelope. So that's all right. It does fit. And when it's displayed, it actually displays within there. So that was a good point though, because, you know, it might not have fitted. Thanks everybody for coming to watch. I'm glad you've enjoyed this today. I'm glad it turned out okay, because as I say, I hadn't actually made it. All I had done is, this is what I did before. That was my prototype to make sure my measurements worked. So I hadn't got as far as the topper and the stamping and everything. So if the frame was moved further left, would you still see the deer? I don't think you would. It would be off center. So that's why I put it like this, because I wanted to see the deer. But, you know, if you can use other toppers. I mean, like Louise, if you go over to Louise's I don't know where you put your cards, Louise. Do you photograph them and put them on on your Facebook page or anything? Yes, Jan. Please do watch the replay for the directions, and it is easy. Each one of these is exactly the same, and the front and the back are just folding and putting a DSP on and stamping. You know, you do that all the time, so it's not difficult. It's just a matter of following the instructions. And if you want the measurements for Louise's, she might have them somewhere for you. Okay, well, I'm going to say cheerio, and once again wish you a very happy new year, and thank you so much everybody for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. This year's been tremendous for me to hit the 1,000 subscribers mark, and I'm actually on 1.1 thousand now, which is amazing. So thank you, and it's all down to you. You know, you're my subscribers, you're my supporters. Really appreciate it. So let's look forward to another year of YouTube and our friendship. And yeah, if anybody wants to buy anything from Stamping Up, there's a link to my online store in the description box below. So I'm going to say bye-bye to everybody. And yes, well done. You found me, Caroline. Yeah, I will have a recorded video out on Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock GMT. And then hopefully I'll be back again with another live at 2:30 next Saturday. Bye-bye, everybody.